AstrHori, however you say it. There are 3 components to a good exposure or a proper exposure of an image that you need to worry about. ISO is the first, and it's determined by the film stock that you choose or the speed of the film that you choose. The second is shutter speed, and this is determined by how fast you have your shutter open and close inside your camera. And third is aperture, which is the diameter or the opening inside the lens, letting all the light come to the sensor, or in this case with film photography, hitting the actual strip of film. And usually my go-to light meter for supplementing those cameras that just are lacking in that metering department is the Sekonic L308, made by, of course, Sekonic. So much so that the people at Sekonic actually posted a piece of my content as Reels on their Instagram page. But most recently, I've been checking out the AH-M1 by AstrHori. Really for a couple of reasons. For one, it is a budget-friendly option for anyone out there needing a light meter for their camera, but also not wanting to drop a couple $100 on some sort of competitor. It's also really user-friendly because with a single button and a single dial, you can actually gain your proper exposure that we were talking about very quickly. And third of all is the fact that it is compact and it's light. It's nice to use on top of your camera, but it's not too light and it doesn't feel plasticky and cheap. It's actually made out of metal, which is really cool. But most of all, probably the cherry on top for someone like me that carries so many different things with so many different charging cords is the fact that the AH-M1 uses a USB-C cable to charge the internal battery. So no need to carry another battery or another cable just to charge the unit. Now it is a smaller light meter, so it will of course lack some of the features of the bigger competitors. Mostly because it has a limited scope compared to other meters which can more closely target your desired subjects in more atypical lighting conditions. But for a nice compact film setup like this one right here, this is something that you could absolutely use to get a good light meter reading and move forward, essentially getting rid of the phone apps and getting to the actual shot just a little bit quicker. Now, as far as operating the AH-M1, it's pretty simple overall. It really only has one button and one dial. So if you're very familiar with like an Apple Watch and the digital crown on those, you pretty much have the gist. The physical wheel will cycle through selections to help you dial in your desired settings, along with the priorities if you want, and even a real-time mode if you wish to adjust your reading as you adjust the focal position of the meter itself. All in all, I think it is an intuitive little system, and that's kind of why I like it so much for a budget-friendly, simple option. It's compact, it sits on the camera. Essentially, you just point it in the direction that you need, click the button on the back to get the reading, adjust your camera as you normally would, take your photo, and then you're moving on like you normally would anyway. But that's what I have for you in order to get a budget, useful light meter that won't break the bank, that'll give you the meter readings you need to get good photos, especially on those cameras that you might have that either don't have light meters or maybe they're broken. Either way, if this interests you, make sure to check it out in the description below. There's an Amazon link for you guys if you would like to check it out via Amazon. And while you're there, make sure to check out the usual social links for Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. But for now, thank you so much for checking this one out, and I will see you guys, as always, in the next one.